What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Super excited about today's video because we're going to be checking out a topic that is near and dear to my heart. This is absolutely one of my favorite topics to check out, and that is driving topics in general. I love learning about the differences in driving in the US versus the UK. I just love driving in general and everything about it, cars, roads, you name it. And so today, guys, we have a video from Conquer Driving, tips for driving fast on narrow country roads in Britain. This should be very, very interesting because, as you know, the roads, especially in the country of the UK, tend to be a lot more narrow than the roads we're used to here. A lot. Yes.
Yeah, we've done like a point of view video before of a lorry driver.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it was mind-blowing because like before that I really didn't have an idea of just how narrow the roads could be.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know the roads are not going to be just really narrow everywhere in the country. You know, you've got motorways and whatnot, but when it comes to the like country roads, which is like it seems to me, at least from what I've seen, and also what people in the comments have suggested, that the roads tend to be very narrow out in the country. And I feel like they tend to be a lot more narrow than the roads we generally have here.
Yeah.
In the UK, on a single carriageway road, the national speed limit for a car is 60 miles per hour. And that includes
60?
rural roads, which are winding, narrow, barely big enough for two cars. You can't see very far, and sometimes they're even covered in green moss and mud. And you may be thinking, isn't that crazy, having such a high speed limit for such a small, narrow road? Well, it is a speed limit, not a target.
Holy! Are you telling me 60 mile per hour is the speed limit on this road right here?
I am really shocked by this.
Okay, that is mind-blowing to me because I look at this and I'm like, I mean, like, sure, a lot of people probably aren't going to go 60 on this, I wouldn't think, but like,
but you could.
But you could, and if a cop was a radaring or something, you wouldn't get in trouble for it. That's incredible.
I'm really surprised.
I would feel like here that might be 40. I think maybe 40.
Maybe 50, depending.
No, there's no way. I have never seen a road in the US that is like backcountry like this. Because this isn't like a highway.
I'm making my own rules.
Think about it. A highway through the country. The wide highway that's leading to your mom's that is like, I mean, it's not quite an interstate, but it's when you take the shoulders into account, it is borderline as wide interstate. That's 50 or 55, 45 in some instances. Right? So 55 would be max on this massive road.
Yeah.
This little road, 60.
That's,
okay.
I'm surprised.
That is mind-blowing, guys. That is insane. Wow. I would have never guessed that because I always feel like when I've looked at driving videos, I feel like things are taken... Safety is taken
very serious in the UK.
Yeah, so the fact that you guys can actually drive legally much faster speeds on roads like this is pretty remarkable to me.
You don't have to do that speed. In fact, it is a bit of freedom. You can do the speed you think is safe because the speed limit's so high you don't have to worry about
That's cool though, I like that.
Reach it anyway. But if on a driving test on a particular section of road it's safe to do this speed, but you decide to do this speed because you think it's easier and therefore you're more likely to pass, well, unfortunately, you won't pass. On a driving test to pass, you have to show that you can make the most of the road, know when you can accelerate, and know when you need to slow down, for example, when you can't see on a bend. And in this video, I'm going to help you with just that.
Sounds complicated.
First tip is to put your hands at 1/4 to 3 and leave them there like this. When you're driving at speed, you don't need to steer more than this, so there's no need to keep taking your hand off the wheel to get extra steer.
That's really interesting. Did you notice what he said about the hand positioning?
Yeah.
He said 1/4 to 3, right?
Yeah, think so.
Here we say 10 and 2.
10 and 2, yeah. I think that generally speaking, our hands would be a little farther up than what he had. He was like side, almost like this. Weir would be more, it's hard to explain, but it's been a long time since I took a driving test, but I feel like that was the case. I remember 10 and 2. Yeah.
However, when you get to a slower section of road with a tighter turn and you do need to steer more, take your hand that's at the bottom of the wheel and put it on the top, and that gives you your extra steer. You will notice that racing drivers or anyone who likes to do high-speed track driving will keep their hands at 1/4 to 3 because it enables them to steer without taking the hands off the wheel, giving them more control. and I'm sure you'll be the same. So here's an example. I'm approaching a bend, I'm
It looks like he's going fast.
going down a gear,
Yeah.
and as I do the bend, I don't have to take my hands off the wheel because I really don't require much steering at all. The faster you go, the less steering you need. If I was to turn the wheel by half now, that would actually be very dangerous, and I would most likely lose control of the car. So I can actually keep my hands here because I don't need to move it so much.
Oh my gosh.
And again, slowing down for this here, down into 4th gear. Bit sharper this one, but still.
Look
not
how
much
high
movement
the
in the wheel.
hedge.
Next
I know.
tip is to
Is-
follow the edge of the road, not the middle of the road. Sometimes this line in the middle will make you hit things like, well, big potholes and even trees. I've got an example round here, just after this cat. There is a line in the middle of the road. And
Okay.
depending on what size of car I have, if I try to avoid that line, I may hit this mound of grass here.
Guys, this looks like it's getting very narrow. Look down there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's saying you have to drive on the line sometimes, most of the time.
I mean, I'm guessing if it's
Because
very
otherwise you're
narrow.
gonna hit.
I mean, yeah, I mean, because
Here it's the opposite. You're always told in like driver's ed is what we call it, where you learn the stuff you need to learn to take the test. You're always told avoid the middle line. You want to be far over.
yeah,
So-
but think about how many shoulders we have compared
Yeah.
to here. We usually have pretty wide shoulders,
Yeah.
even on the country roads. Not all country roads, but generally speaking, I'd say most of them do. But
just wider lanes in general.
it's still wild to me the difference in what it looks like from like this perspective of seeing what it's like driving on the right, because we're so used to
I know the opposite.
yeah, and so like we're generally speaking
Like when he turned, it felt weird.
yeah.
So if anyone was coming, I'd wait here, and when no one's coming, then I'll just drive
Yeah, look
over
at that.
the line in the middle. I'm not afraid to drive over that line in the middle.
Wow.
I follow the left-hand side. When I get near bends, then I slow down and stay to the left as much as I can without risking hitting anything. So as you can see here,
Wow.
I'm not following the line in the middle,
gosh.
I'm just following the left. It gets narrower in places like here.
Oh my
I go over the
goodness.
middle if no one's coming the other way, that's fine.
Dude.
And when it gets wider, I'm further from the middle. I'm maintaining a sensible, safe distance from the left. When someone comes the other
Oh.
way, I look at my gap, next to the car and go through it. Next to the car, go straight through the gap. I try
Oh
not to
gosh.
look at the vehicle, but more on that one later.
Wow.
Okay, wait. I've got questions about the hedges
Yeah.
and like the branches and stuff. Do you guys have a big problem with your cars being scraped up on the sides?
You do gotta wonder.
Because I would think so, with how much contact there probably is.
Yeah, and like, is it the homeowners that go and make sure that's cut to where they don't grow
Right,
out?
will they get in trouble if, I would think there's...
Or do they have like here? We generally like on country roads like this. We have these. The state basically goes in with tractors and they'll mow and cut branches and things like that. And I'm curious if that's the same or if
But
that's,
it's still not to this degree of like tight.
yeah. We don't have
up
hedges
to the road.
usually to the road
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. But did you see like just how I know part of it's just the perspective of where the camera's
Yeah.
at, but nonetheless you can tell this is
It's a little
definitely very
intense,
narrow.
yeah.
It is very intense in some cases when you have like a big tractor coming and you know
Nowhere to get over.
and you can definitely see why you would have a lot more smaller vehicles. Because a lot of these back roads, if you had like say the massive like F350s or something like that, these huge SUVs you see a lot on the roads in the US, they would have
A hard time.
yeah, you could probably do it, I'm guessing. I don't know how wide all these roads are, but you could definitely tell that they would fully fit the lane. Probably they probably had to get off the road a little bit.
Be seen. If you can see up ahead is clear and you can see that moving over will help improve your view, like now I'm going to move over nice and early. That improves my view of where I need to go. Also, it helps me see the oncoming car earlier, it helps them see me earlier, and it helps us both judge how much room we have, so how much we need to slow down and move over for each other. I'm just going to drive to that same bit of road again and show you another reason why it's important to move out early. I don't know if you can see on camera at the moment, but you can't see the left side of the road very well. You can't see where the hedge is, so it'll be hard to see
Oh my goodness.
if there's anything there. But moving over early helps you really see the left side, where all the hedge is. If there's someone walking a dog, I'll notice, or if there's a car at the side, or
Oh
anything,
my-
a cyclist, I have
sorry, I didn't even think about that.
What?
People walking on
Oh,
these
that's
roads
true.
and cyclists
Yeah.
and stuff. Ain't no way I would do that.
Yeah, the cyclists especially, because walking, I feel like you basically could jump out of the way if need be quicker. But cyclists, you are hearing your own tires
I
and
feel
stuff.
like it's dangerous enough here.
It is.
And I wouldn't do it here
But, like,
really either.
And, you know, in the
there's a
cities,
sidewalk.
in the cities and stuff, obviously you're gonna probably have bike lanes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, then again, like there's a lot of homes along the way here,
Yeah.
and so this is a place you would expect to have a lot of bikers and
I know,
and
but I'm
walkers
just
and
saying it
things.
seems a lot more
I know,
dangerous.
yeah,
More warning of how much space I actually have.
because there's
This
no.
time, instead of
Well, there is
Nowhere to
here.
get over, really,
I'm
on
gonna drive
the-
up
My
to the obstruction
goodness.
and then move out late. And you'll see how much worse my view is, and now I've got to move out late like a jack in the box into oncoming traffic. Whereas this time, if I can see no one's coming, I'm going to move out early to maintain my view, and I can see the left-hand side of the road, if there's anyone walking there, and also the oncoming cars know where I am. But in those situations, if there's someone currently in the way, you can't move into them. You're going to have to slow down. If it's clear, move out early, maintain your view, and you can maintain your speed. But if there is someone in the way, you have to stay left and slow down and move out when you have to. Sometimes, if there's not enough room, you may even have to stop. And that leads me on to something else. You must always be at a speed where you can stop within the distance you see to be clear. Here on a right bend, it's much easier for me to see because I can see the whole left-hand side. But on left bends, you can't see as much.
Yeah, it's
Even here,
true.
you can see less. It's not much of a bend,
Oh my
but you
goodness,
can't
yeah.
see the side, and there could be someone walking there, or there could be a driveway with someone's reversing out of. Here's another example. This is a much sharper bend. I'm going to slow down for this, go down a gear, and just on the edge here, there is actually an entrance. You can't see very far at all.
Yeah.
You have to go
That's
slower.
dangerous.
So make
You saw that little road on the
Yeah.
left there, right? If you were pulling out there and
Somebody's not paying attention.
you're not going to know they're coming. They're not going to know you're there.
A lot of times here
mirror.
on like really dangerous curves where you can't see and it's a high speed road, there will be like a mirror
Up on a tree or something.
Yeah, for people to see each
Yeah.
other.
That I could see how, because usually again we don't really have like these bushes and stuff right on, so usually you'd probably have more leeway
Yeah.
in terms of seeing who's coming and if someone's there.
sure you're at a speed where you can stop within the distance you see to be clear, including the left-hand side. In fact, more importantly, the left-hand side. Right bends, you can go a little bit quicker because you can actually see more, but on left bends, you can see less, so you need to slow down more. When passing horses,
Oh.
be very
Horses
quiet.
too.
So keep the revs low, don't speed past them, and give them lots of room.
Yeah, you could spook the horses probably.
So you see I'm going to drive past them slowly, give them plenty of room, so don't startle them and make them do their thingy-bob and jump up in the air, hurting.
I
them,
love their
back
speed
them,
limit
possibly
signs.
even
You see the
hurting
circle.
themselves,
Yeah, I like
because
it
they
too.
weigh a lot and they can do a lot of damage to a car if they hit one.
Or
It's
hurt the
important
person
to
on.
Wait.
accelerate.
Did you see that though?
What?
I said the speed limit sign said 30. They said you could go up to 60. Maybe it's not. Maybe through little neighborhoods they got it down to 30. I'm not really sure.
And brake on
Or in
the
certain
straight.
spots.
Yeah.
maybe.
So I'm braking now for this bend, going down a gear before the bend, and then trailing off the brake through the bend. You don't want to be doing sudden,
Slow.
harsh changes of speed mid-bend, because that can unsettle the car and cause you to lose control. So brake before the bend, change gear before the bend, trail off the brake just as you enter the bend. Trailing off the brake means you reduce the brake as you start to steer. Don't come off the brake suddenly, because a sudden change in deceleration can upset the car and cause you to lose control. You want to be as smooth and progressive as you can mid-bend. Ideally, no change in speed on the bend, a steady neutral speed if possible, but that's not always possible.
I didn't even
Now I'm
think
driving
about the
down a
shifter.
narrow
being on
national
the left.
speed limit
It's
road,
true,
like
yeah.
I mentioned at the
Oh, there's a
beginning of
mirror.
the video, except it's
Oh, okay.
quite
Haven't you?
clean, quite bumpy though.
Jeez.
So I'm getting some speed on the straights, where I can
my
see
goodness.
Oh man.
keeping my distance
This-
from the side, a sensible
It's
distance
so
from the
grown
side,
up.
slowing down before the
Like,
bend.
close
So
to
if
the
someone
road.
comes the other way, I'm able to stop, and I'm always trying to look to see if I can see what's on the left. There is a car coming, so I'm going to
Oh
try
my
and
goodness.
slow
This
down at
is,
a wider point.
look how narrow this
I
is.
know.
Down the gear looks good, looking at the gap, not looking at the car. Try and get an idea of how this position looks now with the steering wheel, where I am in the road. I don't want to be really on
Oh
the
my
hedge or really
goodness.
close to the hedge. That's where most new drivers tend to go. It's important to use the space, use the good, solid road surface where you have grip, accelerate on the straights, and then brake before anywhere where you can't see. I'm slowing down now. There's a junction on the right and I can't see round this bend. Down a gear. Oh, going quite a bit slower here. Really can't see here, especially on the left.
Yeah, look at that.
Here.
Oh man, and there's
Now I'm down to about 17
possibly someone
miles
coming.
an hour in case someone comes. And now I can accelerate briskly but not harshly on the straight, and then reduce my speed again before the bend. Oh, car here. Look at the
Dude.
gap, go through the gap. Now I know there's a road on the right here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Righty ho. So that sign.
What's that say right there? What is
Another
that?
vehicle.
Hold on.
Except for,
Is that like a lorry? A truck?
yeah, except for access.
I wonder what that means.
I think he's about to explain maybe.
Falls over 7.5 tons, except for access.
Okay.
So they can come here if they need to, you know, get somewhere like a business.
Oh, big trucks can't go
Line
there
in the middle of
except
the
unless they
road
need to
is normally
go.
when you get to a
to somewhere
junction. So
specific.
there's no line in the middle of the road at the moment, but when you get to like the end of the road and you need to give way, you'll
Look
find
at the
there is a
distance. It
line.
looks beautiful over there.
Braking again in a straight line, down a gear, and looking to see if someone's coming. Where should you look? Well, you should look far on the straights. Right now I'm looking up to the next bend, but when you get to the bend, try to look a little bit closer. That way you'll do the bend better. Try not to look across the bend too much if you can. I mean, this is quite close, you can't really if you want to. Because if you look across the bend, particularly on right bends, you tend to cut the corner and go into the other side of the road. Really long straight here. Got passing places on the right, which I'll stop before to let people in.
This looks like a
Actually,
fun
we
place
get
to
quite
drive,
close
by the
to
way.
It looks
speed
like a
limit. It's getting a
stressful
little bit
place to
bumpy.
drive.
I'm saying this.
Speed
No,
a
I'm
bit.
saying like the straightaways and stuff because there's not a ton of cars. It looks like a fun. It just looks fun. It looks fun, especially if you have a stick shift.
Seems very slow going though. for the
Yeah,
most part.
because you got to slow down on the curves and
Yeah.
whatnot, and then when the people come, you obviously
Yeah.
got to slow down. You got to watch out. It's true. It would be stressful, but I think the straightaways would be a lot of fun because it's just interesting how you're surrounded by these hedges and whatnot, and I feel like you're kind of. It would be an interesting feel.
Yeah.
Something I don't think I've really ever much experienced.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of
Don't
cornfields
wanna
though, like
unsettle
a,
the
Like a
cars
tunnel
away.
almost.
yeah.
Have a space on the left here I could use if I needed to wait.
I
If
wouldn't
was
like all
going
the
to wait in one of those
shifting.
spaces, I would slow
Stress
down
me out.
before I entered them. I wouldn't enter them at speed because often they're dirty, so not a lot of grip. You want to get your speed down where there is grip.
Look at this, like a little village.
Very tight here, so I'm very slow. Now I'm going to show you how I would use a passing place, particularly a bad one that's very dirty and holy. Let's go through here carefully. There we go. There's a passing space on the left.
Oh
So
my
if I was
goodness.
doing even like 50, I'll get my speed down to this speed properly, walking speed.
Dude.
First gear,
Wow.
I gently walk off the road onto this dirt.
Oh my
over to the
goodness.
left as much as I can to give oncoming cars room to go through without.
How would, okay, I know this is not general access for large trucks unless they need to, but what if they need to and you're trying to, like, I can't even imagine how they could pass each other here.
Right, like having enough room even with you on that part.
Even if you had two, like, SUVs.
Did you see how big some of those potholes were? Like, I wouldn't even
Yeah.
call some of those potholes.
I'm guessing just like here, you know, you're going to, at the rural areas are going to be less upkept compared to
Yeah.
the city.
Man.
Damaging this car, and that way being slow I can get more accuracy as well, and the reversing sensors aren't liking how close I am to this bush, so I'll make them quiet. When the cars have gone through, then I can carefully make my way out, hopefully not going down that big hole. Now I just about missed it, and then carry on up the road. And I've got a car now, so there's a real car this time. If only I had it that time. Now I'm looking for spaces on the right where I can let them go into. There's one here, and I'm looking for
So
spaces
they do have
on the
them
left.
pretty
Looks
regular.
like they might have slowed down. No, they haven't. I thought they slowed down. I think I can see a space on the left up here. So I'm slowing down now before the space. Down again. This is an easy space, a nicely paved.
Yeah.
That
space.
one's much nicer than the other one.
And that was timed quite
Oh
well.
yeah, that was
Nice
that
when
was
that
good.
happens. No reason
that'd be
now not to go
satisfying.
fast. No one coming. Braking now, before the bend, down into third. And as it opens up, not yet, brake a bit more. And as the view opens up, like now, then I get on the power, get going. I don't know this road like the back of my hand. I've only been down here a few times. If you struggle judging how wide your car is, well, I have a video all about that in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Many new drivers make the mistake of reacting to oncoming traffic by turning left. What you should actually do when you see oncoming traffic is to slow down, then look at your space and try to judge if you have enough room to go through. Here it's quite easy. See, I can see the space there. Put my left knee right in the middle of the space and go through. At other times it's harder, so if it's harder, you'd go a lot slower.
So it seems to me that at some points in this, if you're between spacing someone and you meet someone, someone's going to have to back up.
If it's that narrow.
Yeah, because I mean, like, right here, it looks like if a large car came by, it looks like it would be very hard to pass. I mean, I can't tell how much of that is camera perspective versus what is actual. But it's a good thing they create those little what do you call them?
Shoulders,
whatever.
I don't know if that's what you guys call them.
But I'm curious why they wouldn't just go ahead and widen the road. Yeah. Is it because it's caused private property or something? Or is it just because there's not enough traffic to really make sense to spend the extra time and money creating a full wide road all the way through?
It took a little money.
I know a lot of these roads are probably very old. They're probably just old dirt paths, old dirt roads, really, really long time ago. And so they just didn't ever see a reason to widen them.
The smaller the space, the smaller the gap you have to fit through, the slower you should go. Sometimes there may not be room and you may need to stop. Here's
40.
an example of a narrow gap.
Ooh,
look at the gap.
Look at that.
Left knee in the middle, try and take half and try and give half. Although that was a big truck, so I gave them a little bit more than half. Just resist the urge to steer like this. Whenever you see something big coming the other way, don't
right into the bush.
Look at your space. And with time and practice, you'll get used to realising the oncoming cars aren't nowhere near as close as they seem. They generally, if they're around here, you're not going to hit them. If they start to look here, then you're going to hit them. And my final tip is to slow down when someone's following close behind. Sometimes when you're driving quickly on these roads, you may have a car come up close behind quickly, as if it's a race, and follow you very closely. Don't try and get away from them. They will most likely try and keep up, and then things get dangerous. If someone follows close, you have to go slower so that you can stop. My rule is, if you can't brake hard, you can't go fast. So the closer they follow, the slower you need to go.
That was interesting, guys. I learned a lot in this video.
He seems like a really good driving instructor.
Yeah, definitely does.
He has a knack for it.
One thing I wanted to mention before I forget is that we learned at the beginning of the video that surprisingly you can go up to 60 on most country roads if you wanted to, if you could handle it.
Then you see those speed limit signs.
Then you see the speed limit signs. I saw a 30, I saw a 40. And I'm curious if that is because it's just certain sections where there's lots of houses or something, or potentially that may be like a, what do you call it? Like a suggested speed.
Like dangerous curve ahead. Like, you know how that happens here. Like if we'll have like a dangerous curve ahead sign and it'll have like a lower speed limit underneath.
Right. But I wonder if that is suggested or if that is actually the speed limit through that curve or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm questioning here. Is the speed limit the actual speed limit or is it a suggested speed limit? Because otherwise, I'm curious, maybe outside of when you don't have a speed limit on a sign, maybe it is 60.
Yeah.
Because here we have like, if there is no speed limit, like there is an understanding of what the speed limit is probably
in certain areas, like if it's a residential versus country road. Yeah.
Yeah, generally speaking, if you are on a highway, like an interstate is generally 65 or 70 unless otherwise posted. A highway is generally 55.
Or 50.
Or 50, unless otherwise posted. A country road, generally speaking, is usually 45. Like a country road like this, 40 or 45, unless otherwise posted. And then so forth and so on.
I think residential is like 25 or 30 unless otherwise posted.
Yeah, something like that. I might be a little bit off with that, but generally speaking, 60 unless otherwise posted for these roads that we were seeing.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. But I actually appreciate it because I like the idea of having leeway with if I feel like I'm a good driver to be able to, and I can. Not just say, I can only go 35 on a road. It's like when I could actually handle much higher speeds, especially when no one's around. Yeah. But I do understand looking at some of these turns and how people could be coming out, people could be walking, and you can't see them around these bends because of the bushes or the hedgerows.
That alone surprises me that it would be 60 because there's just so many hidden dangers, I feel like, that unknown variables that could come up. With low visibility. One thing that really stood out to me in the difference between rural UK driving versus rural US driving, at least around where we live versus this, is it seems like you have to pay much, much, much more attention in the UK.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Be on alert, on guard, which when you're driving, you should always be paying attention, obviously. Yeah. But I'm saying
the circumstance
your
makes it so.
Engagement level as far as what to be expecting. Like I feel like here, when you're rural driving, you've got more room, so you don't have to really worry so much if a car's coming in another lane because, well, most of the time they're going to be on their side. Yeah. So it's just it seems more stressful.
I think it could be because of basically the circumstances you're in. You know, you got more narrow roads. There's no real shoulder to go onto if need be, and you have these a lot of times hedges or stone walls or whatever very close to the side, meaning that you can't really see as well around the turns and stuff. But we did see that one place that had that mirror. So we did find that out that they do obviously have mirrors from time to time. I don't know how often you see that. But guys, I found this very fascinating.
I do,
and
actually.
It's just, I love the driving topic because it's one of those things, just like food, it's one of those things that most people, I think, do. You know, and so like it's one of those things that like we all, I don't want to say everybody, not everybody drives, but so many of us do that it's interesting to see the contrast and how things change, you know, across the pond.
I gotta say, you guys have no worry of me being behind the wheel in the UK. For one, because I can't drive a stick, and for two, I would be so stressed out, man.
You never learned to drive a stick.
Well, I was attempted to be taught a few times, and it was just something that I did not get the hang of, and there wasn't really a reason to because...
I grew up driving sticks. I learned on a stick. My first cars were on a stick, but I've had automatics for a long time.
I was going to say it's been a long time.
Like, generally speaking, it's hard to come by a car that's a manual now.
Here in the U.S.
You know, a sports car, if you buy a sports car, a lot of times you can, but even those a lot of times are automatic at this point.
Or like hybrid.
Hybrid, yeah, they have the like half manual, half automatic.
It's called Tiptronic or something.
I think that might be it. But anyways, guys, this was very, very interesting. Yeah. Like I said, I love this topic. So if you have any suggestions regarding driving really cool roads we might want to check out, cars in general, just all that sort of thing, let us know in the comments. Definitely want to continue exploring this topic from time to time. But I think that's it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.